All right. Are we all? Do we have everybody we need?
I think we got everybody.
All right.
You got your jacket, you got your.
Here, I'll just take your lead. Right.
Terry in, Terry over here.
Hi,
Terry.
I'm Hicks.
You're Hicks and Terry.
I got you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. First, I'd like to recognize that we have a few council members with us. Councilmember James Brown is back there. Councilmember Chuck Ellinger, where are you? And Councilmember Jennifer Reynolds. Thank you very much. And I also want to recognize my Commissioner of Public Safety, Ken Armstrong, is with us today, as well as our Fire Chief, Jason Wells, is with us. Thank you. So I'm also here today with Divine Karama, Director of One Lexington, Melissa Tibbs with Community Action Council, Terry Dumford with Voyage, Coach Terry Hicks with the Lexington Ravens, and Alicia Mudiyunga of the Marafiki Center. Today, we are announcing that 15 grassroots nonprofit organizations active in violence prevention are receiving grants from One Lexington. Representatives of several of these organizations are with us today, and you can see lots of them up here. And we offer congratulations to each and every one of you. I said they all ought to be smiling, but they said it's cold out. So nonprofit organizations have been active in our community for many, many decades, working to stop violence among young people. They're involved in mentoring, art, coaching, education, wellness, counseling, and much, much more. As One Lexington started working with these organizations, it became very clear that government needs to help them grow so they can work with even more of our young people. These organizations submitted applications for the funding through Community Action Council, which vetted each proposal. And I want to thank Melissa Tibbs and recommended organizations for funding. There were 34 applications originally. And I want to pause for a moment and just say how wonderful our partnership with Community Action Council has been on many, many different fronts. And we thank you so much. Thank you. First, let's hear from Divine Karama, our Director of One Lexington. Divine. I had a baby just a minute ago.
Hey, good morning, everybody. First and foremost, just want to shout out the rest of our One Lex team, Kenneth Payne, and looking clean today, Mr. Larry Johnson. Also, obviously, just keeping in mind all of those that have been impacted by gun violence. They're the reason that we're here. Their experiences are what informs what everybody up here does each and every day. Today is a really good day. When One Lexington first started, I believe it was under the leadership of Jim Gray and Laura Hatfield, a friend of mine. The mission statement and the vision of One Lexington was to leverage government resources and community partnerships to reduce gun violence in our community. And that is literally what this initiative is doing. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's not government coming in and saying, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. It is taking resources and putting it directly into the hands of the organizations and individuals that are already doing the work. But I think the great thing about this opportunity is it also encourages innovation. How do we bring new ideas to the forefront? How do we bring new nonprofits into the fight to reduce gun violence? And so I think that this is a great, great day. Two things I want to say really briefly before bringing our mayor back up is I want to give a shout out to public safety, our police department, fire department, our sheriff's department, and the rest of public safety for the work that they do. I don't think that they get shouted out enough. They are literally on the front lines saving lives. Their cross-sector communication and collaboration is something that other cities don't do. So I want to shout them out for the great work that they do. But then also, I want to shout out the streets and the community because it's individuals who are living in these impacted neighborhoods that are also doing work, but they're never going to be at a press conference because they're working 2 or 3 jobs to sustain themselves and their families. It's individuals with criminal records who can't get into the school system, don't know what a 501c3 is, but they're using their life experience and speaking life into these young people who might be going down the same path, and they're able to mediate some of these conflicts in spaces that we can't be at 24/7. And so we can't forget about those individuals in our neighborhoods that are doing the work as well. And so this is a great, great day. We're here to celebrate these great organizations doing great work, and I look forward to hearing from them in a little bit. So I give it back to the mayor.
All right.
Thank you.
Divine. Thank you, Divine. Now, let's hear from Melissa Tibbs, who's here representing Community Action. And Melissa's going to tell us a little bit more about the vetting process. Melissa, welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. So Community Action Council's role in this is as grants administrator. In the big picture, what that means is my organization designed the grant application along with One Lexington, collected and scored the submissions, and we will be the ones issuing the grant funds to the recipients. When One Lexington and I sat down to meet to talk about the grant application, there were a couple of things that we wanted to keep in the forefront of our mind. We wanted the application to be streamlined and straightforward because we know that for many of us in this room, applying for grant funds comes in addition to all of the other responsibilities that we have. We wanted the application to be accessible and to help put at ease individuals and organizations who might be applying for grant funds for the very first time. And we do have some of those recipients here today. The amount of funding an applicant requested was based on the type of project that they were going to propose. Essentially, we created 3 different levels. We called them Tier 1, 2, and 3. And it means that there's an applicant who wanted to apply for messaging in a one-day community event campaign. We also had applicants who wanted to apply for direct services, and then there was Tier 3, which was both Tiers 1 and 2, so messaging and direct services. As the mayor indicated, we did receive 34 grant applications totaling just over $202,000. An impartial team of Community Action Council staff representing a cross-section of social work and youth services and nonprofit administration scored the applications. And in the end, what we have are applications that cover a wide array of prevention and intervention strategies. And I'm pleased to say that there's one of each of the PIER, which reflects in the One Lexington strategic plan. We have projects that, as you will hear in just a minute, that are that represent a conference or a concert. There are youth programs, summer school programs, weekly mentoring, and workshops where students will learn life development skills. One Lexington Grant Funds will support a leadership development program for middle school boys and a mentoring program specifically for middle school girls, alongside sports and wellness programs, many of which are guided by trauma-informed coaches and practices. It's been an honor to help bring this process to life, and I look forward to the good work that's coming our way. Thank you.
Thanks, Melissa. Thank you very much, Melissa. I want to pause a second and recognize a couple council members who've joined us. Councilmember Legree is here and Councilmember Lynch. Thank you for coming. Oh, Councilmember Dave Savigny sneaked in. Welcome. Now, we have 3 special guests, representatives of 3 of the nonprofits that are receiving funding. And so first, I want to introduce Terry Dumford with VOYGE, which stands for the Voices of Youth administering global education movement. And I'll ask Terry to come tell us a little bit more about his organization and what it does. Terry, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Like you said, my name is Terry Dunford. I'm the founder of the Voyage Movement. She just gave you guys the acronym, so I won't go into that. I definitely want to start by thanking Mayor Gordon, One Lexington staff, Community Action, and then all our community partners. I mean, this is the embodiment of something great. So I want to start off by saying that, to me, this is exactly how you redefine the culture of a city. You know what I'm saying? When we bridge, government leaders with community leaders, we can directly impact our community members. A lot could be accomplished when the people empower the actual people. So we're seeing those results now. And I think that this is a great start to a lot of what we're going to see happen as a result of these grants. Because what this grant does, it gives us the ability to create opportunities, for youth and young adults to take advantage of. A lot of times when we're in these settings, these youth can't even identify an opportunity. So the fact that we've been empowered to create an opportunity that they can take advantage of, we're going to have to, there's no way we can not see the fruits of that labor. All right, got a couple other notes. I don't want anybody to get it confused. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. We on the ground levels, and this one could be easily 20, right? Just based on the things that we see every day. So, we're not gonna get caught up in numbers. We're gonna keep our head down and continue to do the work because we understand how serious it is. And even when we speak to the one, a lot of that politically is great. But that one young man that we're talking about was actually the father of my 4-year-old niece. This is why the things that we do is bigger than, these grants. It's bigger than, this political theater right here, because we are impacted directly. So we are invested directly. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk numbers, as people behind these numbers, there's a whole family that grieves. This young lady, we got to deal with this for the rest of our life. So these things are important. Even when you guys are talking about this stuff in the news, the respect behind the number has to go to the family, because there's real families behind these numbers. And my number don't start and end with 1. My number didn't stop from the first murder back in the 90s, so imagine what that number is. And now all these families are impacted still to this day. So this is bigger than 1 year to the next year. We are trying to impact our community on a real level. So this is not a game, this is not a theater. You understand what I'm saying? So this is why it's important to have these individuals behind us doing the things that they're doing on so many different levels, because it allows us to impact every fiber and every aspect of our community. So I challenge our community councils that's here, learn what part of the city that these organizations are in and go and build relationships with them, because they're gonna be the ones that help you do your job. It's not really your job to take care of our community, it's our job. That's why we're standing here now. We're saying we are the ones are taking responsibility and accountability for our community. A lot of times, the mayors and the government officials, they get a lot of heat, but we have to step up and take care of our community, and this is what you see. And that's the only way you're gonna really bring about change. And I'm gonna close with this. I think that this right here is setting the stage for future generations and also future leaders. This is the example that they should follow. Build that bridge with community leaders in order to bring about the necessary change in whatever realm and whatever, issue that you're trying to solve, all right? Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Terry. Those remarks really embody what we're all about here, and you said it very well. It's about people. That is what it is about, is serving people. Thank you. Next, Coach Terry Hicks, Lexington Ravens Football Organization, which is very familiar to a lot of you. You're well-known in our city and what you do. And so I want to welcome Coach to the podium. Welcome.
Afternoon. My name is Coach Terry Hicks, President of the Lexington Ravens Organization. This is our 10th year in the community. Our program ranges from ages 6 to 12. And a little bit about our program, I like to think of it as more than just football. We like to encourage our kids on discipline, respect, honor, you know what I'm saying, and just holding them accountable in every way, on and off the field. So, let's see, I get kind of stuck trying to explain 10 years in a short span, but I will say that last year was our first year of graduates that graduated from our program, graduated from high school, 4 kids, all 4 on full ride scholarships to college. It's huge. Thank you. Thank you. If I really like that, then this year it's going to be anywhere from 10 to 15 kids that's going to graduate on full ride scholarship. And a lot of that goes into the parents and their support. We don't want to take credit for anything that these kids have done, but what we will say is that when they needed us, we were here. And with the resources from this grant, it's just going to provide more opportunities and allow us to encourage them even more from what they are normally seeing in their neighborhoods and what's going on around them. So many kids are impacted by gun violence and that come through our program, and we don't want that to become the norm for them. We want them to understand that there's more out there, there's more opportunities, and we just want to encourage them to be better and do better. So that's our program. That's what we like to do. If you want to come out, you want to support, come out and support. We encourage everybody, and we need more help. We want more kids, and we just want to be the village, like when Lexington speaks of, and do our part. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Coach. You're helping one youth at a time. That's great work. And finally, I want to introduce Alicia Mutayunga of the Marafiki Center to tell us what they do and how they work in all of this. Welcome. There you go. How are you? Good to see you.
Hello, Jambo Lexington. Hello, Lexington. My name is Elisha Mutayongwa, and I'm originally from Democratic Republic of Congo, immigrant, refugee here for almost 10 years now. As an immigrant that have been in Lexington, we've moved a country cause of war and instability, but getting to Lexington, which is now our home for a lot of Congolese that live here, and from a past history of life, we've encountered a lot of trauma to instability and war. But when we get to Lexington, there's a lot of issue of gun, a gun culture, which is, turning to gun violence that have impacted a lot of families, but also a lot of our friends here in Lexington. I'm the director of the Marafiki Center, and in 2019, I started an organization that can bridge the culture and also bring awareness in our community and create a space where we can talk about what's going on in our city, but also culture reinforcement in our kids. In that, we do Swahili class languages to our kids, which is a summer program that allow our kids to create space for them to learn the language, to be kids just with kids that speak the same language like them, but also create the space for them that's away from destruction or maybe end up in a wrong, cycle of violence. But with this grant, I'm also, thanks Mr. Divine and the mayor and everybody that's involved for this grant. As a grassroots nonprofit organization, we rely on funding and grant application to make things happen. And most of the time, it's not easy, it's challenging. But with these grants, it allows us to keep doing what we do. It allows us to create that space. It allows us to do another youth conference where we discuss about issues that are affecting our community, how we can network, and how we can bring the dialogue of that gun violence, and how we can recreate those uncomfortable conversations about trauma, and conflict resolution in our community, and how can we work that together as a city. So thank you so much, Mr. Divine. Thank you so much, the mayor of Lexington. I'm so blessed and blessed to be here today. Thank you.
I have to tell you, I met Elisha, I think my first year in office, and I see him everywhere. He is a worker, and he is all over helping our youth. And so these are some folks who give you a sense of some of the things that they're doing with these grants, and I want to thank each and every one of them. These organizations clearly take different approaches to reaching out to our youth. And in the end, the message is the same. Be safe, stay away from guns, enjoy a bright future. And as someone here said, I've forgotten, it might have been one of the Terrys, this is about helping youth see a different path forward, right? That is what this is about, and it is interventional, and it is innovative, and we're so excited about this. We have several folks here from different nonprofits, so we'll do our one-on-one interviews with the media and questions one-on-one. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you.